All right, so hello people, welcome back. This is the new Neo update. Now, this update is an order flow update. I did explain some of this in the last Zoom call, and I said there will be more and more Zoom calls to explain what's going on here and how great this system is. Now, why this system is so good for traders, and like what I just explained, um, is that basically this system is going to be able to get you into the market easier because you're going to be able to know what basically the let's call it exactly what it is, the future pairs. So that's the future version of the currency pairs. So they're all different. It's going to show you what they're doing and how you're going to be able to establish what something like AUD CAD will be doing because of those. So one thing that we're very familiar with is price obviously has to move up and it has to move down. Okay. We all know that that is pretty logical. But for price action to actually do something substantial or something that means that where you're going to get a big move, you want actually price action to do something more like this, where one pair is going up. So we want, let's say now for this buy to happen, we would want ORD to be going up in value. So that is the Australian futures. Yeah. And then we want obviously the CAD futures to be going down. Do you understand, people? And now, for people to understand this, this is literally where Forex comes into its best terminologies, like, or its best strategies. If you're able to spot the fact that this is happening, and when it's happening, this is going to get you these types of trade setups, as you can see here from the start of this week, what AUD CAD has basically done with this continuation of this buy. Now, we've already got the Neo strategy, like I've said before, that shows you when to buy and sell. And that is great. That's perfect. This already works. I want people to know what I'm showing you here is not that this does not work. But if you've got, which I worked it out to be, it was around a 40 to 50% win rate on average between all of the pairs in trading. So it depends on what risk to reward you do. But let's just say if we average it, you'll get anything between a 40 to about a 65 to 70% with these Neo entry signals. Obviously, that's based on your risk to reward. The higher risk to reward, the lower the win rate percent. The lower the win rate percentage comes because obviously you're waiting for a bigger move. The smaller your risk to reward, the higher your win rate is because obviously you're only going for a very small move. So what my whole point was to do is to basically filter out any of the trades based on what happens here, which ones are the correct trades to take when this does appear, because of what I just explained to you guys and girls over here, which is pairs will be going up and pairs will be going down. Now, instead of you having to go and manually check all of this, like a lot of traders do with the Dixie, this is what a lot of traders do with Dixie. They will go and say, I'm going to trade Euro USD buy or gold or any of the major pairs, but then they'll go to Dixie to try and get an analysis on what Dixie's doing. Well, guess what, guys and girls? You don't have to do that no more because this table tells you immediately what Dixie's doing and what direction it's going in. So you're already going to be able to know what to do with any of the, I believe it's seven major pairs, but you're going to be able to know straight away what to do. This is why this is so fantastic for you guys and girls. So what I've just explained on that point, does that let everybody understand what this table in general is doing for you? What I just explained over here. If I could just get a Y in the chat, just so everyone can understand that, and I can move forward with what I'm going to say and show you. Cool, cool, cool. I'm getting loads of Y's in the chat. Great, great, great. Cool. Now that's perfect. So, like I say, it's almost like what people say correlation, where they're looking at if the pairs are correlated or if they're negatively correlated, I believe so. It's basically that, but in theory, we're using it on the actual, instead of just using correlation, we're using the actual pressure of what the pair's doing. So this is going to be checking for us if it's breaking structure, if they're actually pushing more orders. This is why this is more complex. Because the first version of this, when I first actually just dropped it out and told everyone, hey, look what I'm doing, it only had just the numbers there, which was just showing us like what's going on quickly. But now what I did is I've added extra things so you can know if they're clashing each other at the same time, meaning the market's more in a bigger range. It's telling you if there's money coming in, if there's money going out. It tells you the acceleration rate at the money's coming in and going out. So this is what we're getting, and this is why we're starting to get this like perfect harmony with what I've produced with this setup. So let's just go into some of the trades, and we're going to start this in a replay mode so people can know. And yes, before anybody says that watches this back on YouTube, I did all of this live in the group for everyone in order for people to catch trade setups. And that was the Neo trade setups we've been taking every single week. You can join the link in the description below, and it's right there, the group, and you can see yourself me proving every single week about the trades that Neo produces, and we're able to take these trade setups. Yeah. Okay, so at the beginning of the week, obviously this is replay mode. Now, replay mode is not going to work on every bar because this is set to the daily. If you set this to the 4 hour, it will work on every bar, but you're going to get loads of variation changes. Now, one of the main reasons I've realized myself, and I stay with the daily time frame, is because when a daily bias kicks into play, this is showing you when big institutional moves are moving. So basically, big institutional orders are being placed. This is why I keep this on the daily time frame. Now, also adding to the fact of that, this is basically this what you're seeing here is basically showing you a day-to-day measure of the COT report, which is COT data. The only thing is, it's not showing you the numbers because the numbers are just confusing as hell. This is showing you in text format because it's telling you on a day-to-day basis when they're in there loading up orders and when they're removing orders. You understand? So boom. Anyway, now look. So let me just go forward one step. Boom. So as soon as we had market open on Monday, look what it already told us. Now I've added some more updates to this, which is better, and I'll explain it to you. It's already told us CAD JPY in first place. I might edit these a bit to make them a bit different how they switch around their order, but don't worry for that for now. Just the fact that these are the out of all of these pairs over here, yeah, these are the top three pairs that is telling you to look for a trade setup in the day. It does that already for you. Remember, this dashboard, you can switch off and on any part of this dashboard, just so people know. You don't have to have it this big. You could just have these top three pairs. But if you have that, you're going to obviously miss any other pairs when the market's sleeping down here. Okay? But yeah, look, it's told us CAD JPY or JPY, GBP JPY. We didn't have to do anything apart from wait for the dashboard to tell us these pairs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to move to the 6 o'clock candle, which is obviously the 6 o'clock candle for me is 6 p.m. Obviously, for if you're in New York or American time, it'd be 1 p.m. So we're just going to move forward. I was it on the 1 minute? Give me a second. We're just going to move forward. And you're going to see why I do it. This is how I back test it, and you're going to be able to see how I back test. Now, this is not something's wrong with my Zoom update. I don't know what's going on, so it might cut the Zoom call. If it does, I'll just add another video. I'll do a part one and a part two. Do you understand? I got no problem doing that, but I just wanted you guys to know. So let me just move to the 6 o'clock candle. It's got double check, so it should be one more candle, I believe. There we go. Boom. Now, obviously, you can already see on OrdCAD, we can see that OrdCAD didn't really do nothing here. Didn't really do nothing. Let me just make sure I haven't got two on here. Boom. OrdCAD didn't really do nothing at this point in the market. Let's even just quickly check what OrdCAD says here on OrdCAD. So I could just go to Ord because I know I'm looking at OrdCAD. I can go to Ord and then look for it in this list. So it already tells me OrdCAD on Monday was a weak buy. Yeah. And it tells me there was an inflow of money put into Ord, but and not but, it was actually 1 bar ago. So this basically is a brand new move when it says one buy here. This is a brand new move here. Okay, cool. So we're just going to keep going. I know this is small for some traders. That's why I'm reading it out. You can make this bigger if you've got a bigger screen. Like I said before I recorded, if you actually invest in a bit more in Forex and get yourself a bigger screen, this will actually be a very tiny table, even if you make it bigger. But TradingView basically works where however big your screen is how much screen real estate you get. It doesn't compress it for your screen size. And I take it that's because obviously people want to see further back in the chart. So the bigger their screen is, the more they can see back in the chart. So again, it's based on TradingView, not Neo. So anyway, now it says AED CAD inflow. So that means buy money has been put in. The velocity is 1.1, but it tells us here, even though it's telling us a little down sign, so it's telling us that it is trending. It is trending basically for the buy, but there's a clash. This is what it's telling us here. There's a clash. So that means the bulls and the bears are fighting in this setup at the moment. There's a clash. There isn't. It's not telling us that this is a clean enough move yet. There's a clash, literally. But let's go over to AUD JPY now, or we'll go over to AUD and CAD JPY. Boom. Now, I can't make this up, people. This is why I always tell people I can't make it up. If you don't believe me, you can see it yourself. If you don't believe me, you can ask anybody in the group. Now, it's going to say this now. Don't get it wrong, people. That's because we're in replay mode. Just be easy. Because I know some people will be like, it changed. Yeah. It's because we're in replay mode. So I'm just going to go back one candle and move it forward because we're obviously in replay mode. That's why it does that. So when we go back, look, boom, it reappears. Okay. That's replay mode. So now, yeah, you can see, boom, it told us this information at the beginning. The beginning. The only thing that it might not have said here, literally, because obviously price has to move, is I believe it said range. I can't remember if it said strong. I think ORD JPY did say ORD, strong buy. I can't remember if CAD did and GBP. But that's not the main issue here because we're going to go further and further into why I'm explaining it's not the main issue. The fact is, you can see that this was a brand new inflow move because whenever these are brand new inflows, I just recently updated last night that it tells you it's a one level, so it's a brand new buy for this influx here. So remember, they're telling you there's been an inflow of orders, and it's telling you it's for the buy for AUD JPY. And this is a continuation move. It's telling you the velocity of this move. So the speed that this move is going at is a 4.1. Do you understand? So it's telling you that this is high enough. This is very high. I explained in the previous Zoom call, somebody asked me, what's the rule of thumb on these type of numbers? Well, obviously anything over 1.0 positive, so it'd be just a 1.0 is good. Anything below, so if it's like a negative 1.0, let's just say now, obviously if you're looking for a buy and it's a negative 1.0, it's bad. The velocity doesn't even go that low. It doesn't put those type of trades in here. The way this system is generated, it's calculating, I kid you not, people, I worked it out, 5,400 different variations of trade setups, and it's basically giving you the best out of those that you're seeing now. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that, people. There's 5,000 different variations, yeah? But it's giving you the best of the best here that it can possibly produce. So here now it's telling us that this move is accelerating with speed, this move. And then it's telling us that there's a double ignition in here. So what the double ignition means is when the bulls, so basically AD, the futures pair is moving aggressively up, and the JPY is moving aggressively down. As you can see, look, it's all the way down here on the heat map between the pairs. Can you see? You see how this goes from bullish to bearish. And look at it's right at the top and right at the bottom. So that's telling you that this moves aggressive. And from market open, even if you just enter this trade, boom, this is an 80 pip move. Remember what I'm telling you people here. This was here at market open. This was here at market open. I'm going to make that clear. This didn't appear just randomly through the course of the day and people are like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. It gave you the idea of this setup from market open. Now let's go over to GBP JPY. Yeah. Like this is exciting, people. I'm telling you, if you don't get on board now, do not blame me because let's just be honest. Once the 20, 30, 40, 50K start coming in per week, those, I don't want anyone to say I didn't try to bring them in because I'm spending the time to do these Zoom calls, talk to everybody in the group and everything like that. Like, this isn't a joke. This is going to be a leading product, I'm telling you, by the time it's finished. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the person who created it. Like, I am shocked. So now we're going to go back one bar because, like I told you, it's replay mode, just so we can see, so people can see how I'm testing the product as well if you're back testing it. So I'm just going to go back one bar and go forward one bar. Boom. So look, we'll get again, remember the same thing, GBP JPY. So even if it didn't say strong buy, it might have said range buy, but it would have said massive inflow buy. Remember, it's brand new because it's got one bar here. You guys don't have this yet because this is the update. I'll be giving you guys this update by this week, definitely. Like I said, there's certain things I've got to clear up, like easy mode in the settings is not working at the moment, so I've got to get that out. I want to make sure that when everybody switches on their Neo, it looks like how mine looks straight away, rather than them having to go through the settings. So there's a few little tweaks as well. You just got to bear with me. I want some type of alerts. The alerts disappeared as well when I was doing all these updates. So you have to just bear with me, but you will get this, don't worry. So anyway, now, boom. By continuation, 3.1. So yes, it might not have had as much velocity, but it was still very strong. The acceleration is there as well. And we had the same thing. GBP and JPY had a double ignition. So that means GBPs, even though it's here on the heat map, you can see why ORD was an easier pair and moved faster. It was higher, JPY was lower. But GBP is telling you it wants to start pushing up this list, basically, wants to start buying, and the JPY wants to start selling. So this is why we had the double ignition. Now, the ADR part of this, I need to fix this. I just added it quickly and I didn't get to the end. But basically, the ADR is going to tell you where it is on the ADR. And we'll go through that in this Zoom call as well as we go into the next things. I'm just trying to let you see what this thing is doing from the get-go. Yeah. I'm just letting you see, guys and girls. So again, remember, this was from Monday. Now, this was actually a key thing, and we're going to learn more and more about this thing as time goes on, because even I'm seeing more and more about it. Remember, it might sound weird, but it's not that I don't know what I'm doing and this is all new to me. It's nobody, everybody's got to understand that until you put this in an indicator like this, all this information that's in your brain or what you know, you're not going to be able to see it as fast as the maths can process it. And that's why I keep telling people that this is new to me, this relative strength in that. I'm aware of it if I manually go and see it, but imagine how quicker it is for me to see the how to trade it better if I could see it immediately, quickly. Does that make sense what I'm saying there? So this is why I'm saying people have to be patient with me, because I have to see how quick it's processing it and then what we're seeing quickly. I'm able to basically imagine being able to backtest, but you've got superhuman, you've got like the limitless pill. Remember the limitless pill from the movie Limitless? I believe it was. Imagine that's what like this indicator is doing for me now. It's helping me in that way. So I'm able to cram so much knowledge so quickly. Do you understand? Cool. So now you can see from here, this was the simple setups from the strong buys or strong sells from the top three pairs. Anybody that just jumps into the game, these are the ones you could take straight away. You can look at it that way. Now, I will say that with a pinch of salt as well. The strategy is not completed. It can't be completed because of what I just explained to you. I'm literally using the limitless pill, which is this table, and I'm trying to cram all the knowledge as quick as possible. As soon as it's done, of course, I'm going to be able to tell people this is where your stop loss should be and this is where your exact entry should be. But again, we do not, and I want to make it clear, we do not need this alone to make money off of Neo, because Neo is very successful already just from these buy and sell alerts that appear with this box before all of this was created. The only reason I started creating it, I'm making it clear, the only reason I started adding this is because whenever it appears with one of these boxes, at least now we can see if it makes sense with the strength. Do you understand? So if it told me to buy GBP JPY, which it did last week, it told me here as well, GBP JPY. It was a range buy at this time because I've made the condition stronger. I just want to show you, look, this was a signal here, just so people can see live on the market. So I'm going to move forward from this, but I just want to show people on the last one. So this was last week, Monday. Yeah. Same thing, same way I was able to tell every single person in the group, watch, boom. Neo is giving you an alert. These do have stop loss and take profit levels and stuff. I've just switched it off. It literally tells you entry, stop loss, take profit. I've literally just switched it off in the settings because obviously I've got to have a certain amount of stuff on my chart. If not, it's too much. So I've just switched it off. But look, it told you Neo buy entry. You would have got an alert for it, which I did as well. You would have an alert for this. Yeah. Before Price has done this, it's told you Neo buy. Cool. Now let's go and read what it says here on the dashboard. So boom, boom, boom. GBP, where's GBP? Just go over to GBP. Boom. GBP, JPY. So it was already saying it. Look, strong buy GBP, JPY. One buy, which means this inflow of money. So inflow. They've introduced buy orders into the JPY because it says inflow GBP, JPY buy. Velocity 4.1. Acceleration here. So they're accelerating this. They're moving this with speed. Then it says ignition for the buy. So what happened is there was a bullish ignition. So that means they're accelerating it, but they've also pressed the fast and furious nitrous button. They've also pressed the nitrous. You got to think of it like a car. So you're accelerating the car and they've pressed the nitrous button. So what do you expect is going to happen? They're going to start pushing price fast. And then what do we see here? Remember, this was from the Monday's entry of Neo. So this is why I'm telling people, even though this is an update, Neo still works. Watch what happens, people. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that trade. Again, this was last week. Are you guys and girls seeing what I'm showing you here? Are you seeing what I'm showing you here, people? Please, people, tell me you're seeing this. Are you seeing this? Like, is this crazy? I'm telling you. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not I'm not joking. Like I would not be up for 10 to 15 hours. People are going to they're saying good night, John, off for the charts. They're waking up in the morning and I'm still here coding. Do you understand? Like I'll do this Zoom call and obviously I got some stuff to do tomorrow, but if not, I probably would have still been here by this time in London session. Do you get what I'm saying? After even this Zoom call done and uploaded. Because what I'm seeing here, it needs dedication because this is real people. What I keep trying to tell you is it's showing you before. But remember, how can you scan all this information manually? It's going to take you forever. You're going to have to go to the individual future. You're going to have to start drawing boxes, support and resistance and using whatever tools you have. You don't need to do that with Neo. You understand? You don't need to because Neo's just telling you straight away. Once it's told you that straight away, boom, you already know you've got a Neo buy signal, take the trade. You're done. Nice, smooth. Can you share your settings I have on? Can you share your settings? I have so much on my charts. I've already shared my settings in the group. It's already in the group, the Neo Reloaded group. I've pinned it there and sent it out like 2, 3 days ago, my friend. It's all there. So your settings will not look exactly like this. And that's why I didn't even want to set it out from the last update I did because I already know I keep updating it because I want to, obviously I'm trying to, like what I explained to you, I'm trying to get all the knowledge, but cram it out and give it to you guys and girls. But again, I'm not trying to just give you nonsense. I want to give you something that works, obviously. So the settings that I've got up to date, up to that date are in the Neo Reloaded group. You can just go to the pin settings, go to the pin messages, sorry, and then you'll see all the settings are there. Yeah, but you will not have certain things that I've got here until I release this update. There's certain things like one is these things here. So all right, cool. So now we've got that out of the way. Let's move forward from that. Yeah, let's just move forward. I just wanted to show people that, because some people are going to be like, but this is too complex for me to trade. I keep telling people, no. Neo tells you when to buy and sell. Literally. Forget every other thing on this chart apart from this buy and sell box. It tells you. All of this stuff is just to give you the confluence that, oh, this signal Neo produced should buy now. So now if you take 10 trades in a row, if you pay attention to this as well, now let's say you lost 4 trades and won 6. Now you could win 8 trades and lose 2. That's literally what this is. But this gets better because now me doing that, I've realized it's also got technically its own strategy where you might be able to get bigger winners and all this type of stuff. But that is what I'm creating over the time. So that's a secondary idea. So sorry, let me go here. Boom. All right, cool. So that's that one there. So now what I want to do is go into this. So let's go into the next part of this. So for us to go into the next part of this Zoom call, okay, now that we've got that out of the way, just so people understand how to use it with Neo currently, okay. First thing I'm going to say before I move on is anybody got any questions before I move on? Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? If you ain't got no questions, then I'll move on. If you have, cool. Just so I'm making it fair for everyone to ask questions and it's not just me talking about my stuff, it's also what you guys want to know as well. All right, cool. So, yes, it might look like it's complex at the moment. Remember, I'm still coding it. You're literally seeing a version of like the open code of me still coding Neo. Yeah. Sorry, let's just see. Just to keep it simple. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Mr. M, Mr. T. That is it. Just look at the alert boxes. Look at the alert boxes. If you're not someone that has as much time on the charts as you can for whatever reason, everyone's got their own reasons in life. I'm not judging anyone. Everyone's got reasons. Then exactly why you bought Neo in the first place. Just wait for the alert boxes. The only thing that can happen is that, like I said, if you lose the trade, you can go back to that trade and see what the dashboard was saying. And if the dashboard, let's say it's telling you to buy, but Neo, but the dashboard was telling you money's getting pulled out of that pair, then you could say, oh, well, I lost that pair because the dashboard told me. So it's about you learning that idea of it. Do you understand? Yeah, I will read the question out. I only read it out if it's a question people ask me. If it's something that's just like what the person said, can you share your settings? Do you understand? I'm not really gonna read that one out. But if someone asks me a question, then I definitely would read it out, mate. Cool, cool, cool. All right, cool. So now, Boom, 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 boom. No problem, mate. So now, what we're saying, yeah. So boom. So I want people to understand the idea of the what else I've added to this. So what else I've added to Neo is I've added um order flow into Neo. Now, I already know, and I'm not stupid. I do my research, I do my knowledge, I put the hours in. You're not going to get precise order flow in TradingView because TradingView doesn't use something called tick data. Now, on the highest package of TradingView, you can get tick data, but I still don't believe it's the same thing you get as what these other markets do. It's called something like level one, level two, and level three. There's different information you can get from the financial markets, basically. And the information that you can get from a lot of order flow platforms, yeah, is basically it's basically live data telling you when orders have been are being placed and have been placed. Now, why I say this here is that this is literally what happens. We see when orders have been placed. So the fact that this kind of rejected like this, it told us that buyers were trapped in this area, literally. Yeah. Let's just look at it from this point of view. So I'm going to show you this. Let's go into replay mode, so it's not as messy. So this is so people can understand this part of it. Again, you do not need to use this to trade the Neo signals that work fine. This is for people wanting to understand what extra I've added to Neo. That's why I'm explaining it and how it's going to benefit us over the long run into making these trades that already appear like just crazy, phenomenal. Yeah. So boom. What it's told us here straight away, if we can see right over here on the chart, is we can instantly see how buyers have been trapped in this move. So now they remember if someone bought from here, they would have got, or let's say someone bought from here, let's just say now, they would have been trapped in this move and they're trapped in this area. It's literally telling you that this is an order flow zone. So right here on MT4 or MT5, there's literally loads of orders here like this. You see when you place an order, this is what it looks like. Do you understand? I've just made it so it looks like a zone. Is that clear for everyone? So that's what you're seeing right now. So buyers are trapped in this area. Now, the fact that buyers are trapped in this area, we need to now see if the sellers are going to get trapped lower. So that will give us an indication that price action is in a consolidation and could break out. This is the whole point of this helping us is that and let me not jump too far forward. Yeah. Trapped is trapped. So every time there's buyers and sellers in the market, and this is information that even if I'm saying it to you, you can easily go research as well yourself, just so you know more about trading in general, what's actually happening in trading. That's what happened to me. I'm not just saying it to be like a guy. I'm actually saying I had to go and learn about this. Yeah. So what there is that there's always an auction taking place for buyers and sellers. There's always an auction taking place. And it's whoever wins the auction. There's buyers, there's sellers. Yeah. Whoever wins the auction gets the hold price where it is. Do you understand? That's literally what's happening. Literally. So what happened here is buyers tried to step into the market. Literally. Imagine, because you're not seeing this when you just look at a candlestick. And this is why this is fantastic. So it's good to even learn what I'm teaching now. It's a mentoring right now if you don't know it. So literally at this point, buyers tried to step into the market, but the sellers were too strong. They pushed, somebody placed a big order and pushed them all the way back down. So they trapped them in this area. That's why it says trapped buyers. Do you understand? Literally. Now, they're not going to be able to break through this level until these sellers offload their orders. Do you understand? And then more buyers come back in. Does that make sense? So, sorry, more buyers will come back in lower. So, let me not even use this. More buyers will come back in lower. So, they're not going to be able to do that. Right now, the sellers have taken place because someone put a big order here and trapped them. Now, you see what happens. Now that somebody has put this big order, another person has put a big order here. You see? So, we've seen that there's a whole bunch of buyers that have tried to buy here. They've tried to buy here again, but the sellers have pushed them. It's a constant battle. Think of it as two people clashing. I will use USDCHF, but let me use this one for now. Yeah, I have to use this one for now because we're here at the moment. And someone asked me to actually talk about GJ before USDCHF, by the way, James, just to let you know. So I will use USDCHF as well. We're going to go through pairs, don't worry, people. But remember, obviously, there's a lot of information in it. So don't worry. Don't think that this is just a quick roundup. We're going to go through some stuff. I'm trying to, obviously, as I've put it there, I've got to explain through the whole point. So now it's weak. You understand? It's medium. So now we're saying that there's more sellers than there is buyers in this area. We can see based on the 4 hour chart, there's no buyers that are pushing back up. No buyers just yet. There are some here, literally. There are some literally just here. Sorry, I've got to say that. But look, this is 2 to 1, and we haven't got the zone yet because it's not telling you that. It's basically like the buyers are locked in. Just imagine this is a certain amount of buyers, but not enough. When the zones come, it's telling you, okay, there was a good amount here. Yeah. So look, boom. Now you can see what's going on here. So what happened here, as buyers are trying to step back into the market, there's double the amount of sellers. Can you see? So what I was trying to do is merge these zones, but I was having problems with the coding. Hopefully I can get round to it. We're almost at 5,000 lines of code. And literally now when I try to put the code on the chart, sometimes it tells me you're at your limit, bruv. Relax. You understand? It tells me you're at your limit. But I'm trying, people. So anyway, now boom. So there's 2 loads of sellers, 1 loads of buyers coming in here. It's not enough at the moment. Now look at how funny this is. Look here. So boom, 2 loads of sellers, 1 loads of buyers. On GBP JPY on this table, I want people to understand. Look, on this table, where is it? GBP JPY. Now it says range buy 1 here, but it says outflow sell GBP JPY. Now, what is that telling you? Obviously, they've been trying to buy GBP JPY, but it's told you beforehand, people. This is where I just messed up because I never waited on the Wednesday for the dashboard to actually update. You have to wait like at least about 30 minutes after the market opens. Just be chilled. If the price just shoots off, I'm sorry. That's nothing I could do about that. But it's reading a lot of data, so you have to be chilled. So if you wait about 30 minutes after the market opens, yeah, from when it shuts. So as soon as market closes, then it opens. Give it about 30 minutes for the dashboard to read all the information and stick in place. Yeah. But you can see it says GBP JPY outflow sell. So that tells you, even though there's a range buy, so it's ranged and it's buying. So it's consolidating and it's buying, as you can see, consolidating and buying. But now what's happened, because you can literally, the dashboard's telling you what you saw here. Remember, this wasn't here like this before. It's telling you that they've started to remove whoever put these buy orders in, they're taking profits, long story short. And sellers are coming into the market. So it's told you don't take this trade at the moment because it's not going to continue to buy today. Why will it continue to buy at this point? Right now, it's not going to continue to buy. And to make it worse, there was actually GBP news on this day. So this is why I say it's funny. This indicator is literally showing you what news is more than likely going to do because you can see from the order flow. Do you get it, people? So GBP news comes in the morning, and you can see that even here, what the ABS means here as well. So people, it's absorption. So as the sellers try to push into this level, buyers absorb them. So remember, it's like we've got a certain level of buyers here, and you can see that sellers are still getting absorbed as well here. This is what bullish absorption means. So they're getting absorbed. They're just literally getting absorbed right now. They're trying to get absorbed, but it's not strong enough. Why? Because remember exactly what I explained to you before. The outflow of orders is a sell. It's told you that from market open. Remember, guys and girls, that's why I'm saying that this indicator is so crazy, and people need to understand the madness you're seeing here. Do you get it? Yes, it picks up these trapped areas live as well. Someone asked, does Neo pick up trapped areas live? Yes, this doesn't appear randomly. Look, I'll show you here so we can go again. Remember, you saw it with the buy candle. It goes here. So, and what I would say definition of live is obviously once it's locked in place. It can't pick it up. That's what I was trying to say before. Sorry, before I jumped a little bit, is that when you use order flow software, yeah, you can actually see them here. Like imagine now they place this order. So imagine we're here in the market. What they'll do is they'll start placing order flow like this. So you would see it beforehand. So you're able to now say, oh, okay, so ADR2, which more of us, once you start looking at the ADR, you can clock they look like take profit levels. Imagine now you're in this buy for GJ, but you've got the order flow software. I'll put the video of what they look like in my VIP chat. Yeah, if people don't already know. Now you'd been able to say, oh, okay, so by the time it gets to ADR2, there is a lot of order flow here. That is the real version of live order flow. Now, Neo can only give it to you as soon as it goes into this area. Boom. And on this, you see how it happened immediately as soon as this candle closed? Straight away, literally. So this is what it's telling you. So straight away, it's told you, boom, this, whatever was here before, is confirmed. That is the difference between TradingView and the live versions, level one, level two of whatever they like to call as market analysis, what you're able to use with real order flow. Does that make sense for everyone? What I just said there. So that is the difference. There's limitations when you're on TradingView. But unless, like why I made this joke is that I try to tell people that look, if you're not willing to invest into like getting a premium trade of you or anything like that, boy, you could try go get order flow, but order flow costs like minimum 150 a month and all this type of stuff. Minimum. You understand? Because you got to get like packages and all of this stuff. And then by the time you build out your package, you could be spending like £300 a month. The highest version of TradingView costs like almost £300 a month. Do you understand? So unless you're willing to do that, then boy, I can give you Neo. That's the best way for me to put it. I can give you Neo, but boy, if you want to start spending £300 a month, you can. But that's how much it costs for you to see that type of data. Does that make sense? What I'm selling you guys and girls there? Just let me know, please. Let me know so everyone can get it. Yeah. So, like I said, there's nothing with it, and I'm definitely going to invest into it as well, 100%. But I was like, okay, let me find see if I can find a shortcut with it because I like to just stay on one platform. But realistically, I'm probably just going to have to invest into it as well at one point. It doesn't mean that I won't. It's not. It's I'm already making money, but the more you invest into things that are correct, the more money you can make. So I could go from making 10K a week to 50K a week by adding that introduction and trading it the way I do. Because remember, I could look at what Neo's doing and then I could see that live information that I'm paying £300 a month for. Does that make sense as well? So that's the whole point of that. So boom. Anyway, so yes, to answer the question of what people said, yes, it I would say it's semi-live, but obviously it's not. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. And people say he's lying, you'll get somebody back on YouTube saying he's just lying about what he's saying. I'm not gonna say that. I'm saying it clear as day. No, it's not 100% live because it just can't be. Do you understand? TradingView is not even capable of doing it. You understand? So boom. Anyway, now we can see what happened here. So let's just pay attention more back to where we go here. And yes, I will go into USD CHF after. Remember, before news hit, we could see there was a double sell order flow from the day before. Now, when it came into the current day, and we already knew GBP news was coming, and the dashboard told us that they started to release money, remove the buy orders from GBP, that gave us a double confirmation that news could come out positive, negative for the pound. And what do we see? Boom. Remember, people, this is all beforehand. And this is one thing we're looking for in trading. We want an edge so we can kind of see what the market's going to do so we know that we're correct. I get the point that you don't want to you don't want to basically move before the market. You want to kind of react to it, but this is allowing you to react to the market by seeing what could possibly come. Do you understand? So boom. So now we go down to here. So this is where it gets a little bit more advanced. And again, I'm not telling people that this is how you should trade this strategy. I'm just literally showing you and trying to teach you guys and girls what trapped buyers and trapped sellers means and what absorption means in the market. Okay. This is what I'm doing here. But Neo is now capable of doing this for you. Do you understand? It was how I was able to make some good money on gold last night. Okay. So boom, let's go down to here. So remember, we're on the 4 hour chart. Now, to get these sniper entries, obviously, everyone that gets sniper entries, they don't enter on a 4 hour chart. No one's getting sniper entries on a 4 hour chart. Now, for you to get a sniper entry in this buy continuation, look what happens here. So remember, GBP JPY, let's go here, boom. GBP JPY, let's make sure we're in the same day. Here we are. GBP JPY here, look, see, it still says range buy, outflow, sell. So where is it? Boom. So my eyes right here. Boom. Outflow sell. Velocity 2.1. Remember, there's a clash in this market. So the clash, and I did do a version of this where it shows you who's winning this war as well. But then it started changing other things. So then I had to just say, okay, let me go back and then move forward. But in future, it might be there. I want to know the who's winning the war of the clash because that gives you an indication that okay, it might not be ready to buy now, but if it starts to create, remember, again, this could be added to the dashboard, made more easier, but I'm just showing you the manual idea of it. Now, if the Bulls are winning that war, yeah, or at some point in the day they start winning that war on that pair, it will now coincide with what we see here. Now we can see that there's trapped sellers here. Boom. So they tried to push down more. They got trapped here. There was absorption here as well, and we're ready to go. But the fact that what I've noticed is between the 4 hour and the 1 hour chart is where you're going to get the best type of setups for your sniper entries. Now, obviously, the 4 hour chart will give you the idea that there's trapped buyers or trapped sellers. Do you understand? A lot of the time, not all the time, because it's like it's really hard sometimes in the 4 hour to create it. But when you come down to the 1 hour, you do start to see this idea of buys. And if you can see right here, this was just before New York session. So what's happened is they've placed a whole bunch of buy orders before New York session, and then boom, look at what this trade would have given you here on this re-entry. So right here, stop loss below this level here, this weak level. That was a 23 pip stop loss. We move it forward, and then boom, price starts to play up. I just want to show you where it goes to first, yeah. And then by the next day, boom, and then we get this. Yeah, we get where we are now, basically. We get this, boom. So that was an 8R trade, people. This is why I'm now starting to create a strategy based on this. Does everybody kind of get that point of it? What I've just said to you there? I'm trying to create a strategy based on this because you can see the potential it's got. Whether or not it makes the Neo strategy better or whether or not it has to become its own strategy, we will see. Time will tell on how I have to build it. Do you understand? But I'm doing this strategy live for you guys and girls. So once we see the strategy becoming a viable strategy and producing 5 to 8 hour trades, nobody can say I didn't do it because I'm recording the data through these Zoom calls and in my VIP chat. Do you understand? Literally. So I'm going to go to the questions now. Boom. Somebody said here in the questions, yes, TradingView cost money to see all the Neo analysis, big money. Yep, that's true, James. And then everybody said they understand what I'm saying here. So remember, it told us buying pressure could happen, but from this dashboard, we didn't know when, if that makes sense. We would have only known when it does, if it changed to like maybe a double ignition and said buy, or maybe a normal ignition, which is just this little orb, and then say buy. Then we would have known. But how we're using strength with order flow. You see it, people. So now paying attention to order flow, we would have seen that boom, here is where the buys could have happened. Because this one was from Tuesday. And then Tuesday's order flow never obviously got held because why? You shouldn't look to hold this order flow from Tuesday because again, it told you there was an outflow of money from the beginning of Wednesday. It told you money's coming out. And that's what happened. That's where we see the sell. But when is money coming back in? We would have either seen a possible order flow zone for buyers, so sellers getting trapped on the 4 hour or the 1 hour. And in some cases, you have to go down to the 30 minute to see it. Do you understand? And why is that? I'm going to keep saying, why is that? Again, people, pay attention to what would have happened there. It was saying range buy outflow of money. So it doesn't mean that they don't want to continue buying. It just means that you got to wait before. And for you to wait, you have to wait for the trigger. Now, the trigger, from what I've seen, from what I've added, is obviously the trapped buyers and the trapped sellers, because that's literally telling you where they're trapped. And again, that was between the 4 hour and the 1 hour chart. And sometimes you might have to go lower. It is not the strategy set in stone. So if you run wild and do it and start losing 10 trades in a row, that is on you. That's a disclaimer. I'm still building the strategy and I'll let you know. But you can see exactly what is happening, is what I'm showing you in this Zoom call. Is that fair for me to tell you, guys and girls? From what I've just said there, is it fair for me to tell you that? This is what it is. Remember, what really is going to happen here, I'm not going to even lie to you at all. Scalpers are going to have a field day with this indicator. Scalpers are going to have a field day. I don't want to sit down and build a scalper strategy because I'm seeing 10R trades from swing trades. I don't need to build a scalping strategy. Yes, you can be in the market every, 2, 3 times a day. I get it. But if I'm seeing 10R trades, 5 to 10R trades from swing trading, we've gone past that point now of saying swing trading is too slow. I don't have to stare at charts. I don't have to do nothing. I just have to literally wait for this to line up, which it does. And I'm seeing 5 to 10R trades. The lowest ones are like 3R. Do you understand? But yes, scalpers are going to have a field day with this, guys and girls. This is exactly why. So let's go over to gold quickly. I'm going to go to USDCHF, but let's go over to gold because I know people love gold. Everybody loves gold. Yeah. Now for NAS, I haven't added the NAS futures because obviously I don't trade NAS every day, so I don't know how they correlate with certain things, but I can easily figure that out. It's no problem, people. I'm gonna do my due diligence research and figure out what NAS actually correlates with straight away. I'll be able to do that. But for NAS indexes, everything, it's no problem. I can literally do that in this update that comes out this week. And in the settings, you'll just be able to switch it on and off. Do you understand? I'm not going to go into cryptos for now. I'm not going to do that, Mr. T. We have to slow it down first because it starts to get a bit crazy. Because I don't even know if cryptos have a standard Bitcoin, and then because I know it's Bitcoin USD. Do you understand? But let's just go into the at least the futures first, because more people trade currency and futures than actually trade cryptos, if that makes sense. I know there's a lot of crypto traders. I'm not saying there isn't, but more people tend to trade the futures, gold, and currency pairs, from what I've seen anyway. I know a lot of crypto traders are like scalpers. I haven't really met a lot of swing trade crypto traders apart from ones that put it like long-term portfolio investments. Boom. So anyway, now look at gold. So gold on the 4 hour chart. I saw this. Look, if I'm lying, I'm flying, people. This is the product you're buying, bro. If you're not serious, you're not serious. But 100 GBP right now, lifetime access. If you don't get in, I'm sorry, the price is going up. I'm not really fussed on people saying, oh, but this or that, because this is ridiculous, people. Like nobody is breaking down their indicator to this point and making their indicator disadvance. And I've seen the indicators. You can go and check. I'm not digging at anyone. You can go on Lux, Algo, and all of them, and they do great stuff. But I don't care what anyone says. The indicators are not doing this, bro. They're not doing this. Yeah. Look at this. It told you straight away, boom, like semi-live here. Trapped sellers are in here, yeah. Boom. It told you straight away from that wick rejection candle. So all that led you to believe is that as long as we get a lower time frame confirmation of trap sellers again, then we can get an entry because obviously this is a huge zone. This is gold. You're not just going to want to enter a 1.0 and leave it in this massive zone. It's huge. So obviously your aim is to hone down and get a sniper entry, as we like to say. So we go down to the 1 hour there. Let's see if there's anything there. Nothing here in the 1 hour. Nothing here after the trap sellers. Yeah. Go down to the 30 minute. Like, pay attention to what I'm doing here. This is how I'm manually looking at it. But what you're seeing me manually do now is what I would put into a simplified strategy in a one shot. Do you understand? So this was later on in the day, but look, boom, that would have been your extra confirmation. Look here. So we went down to the 15 minute people. So I had to go from the 4 hour to the 15 minute chart to find a confirmation of this buy. And you can see here, look, Thursday at 3 a.m. in the morning, here you go. Boom. And this is literally when I told everybody in the group, there's 15-minute trap sellers. You can see it tried to buy up, but it wasn't enough. The auction wasn't big enough for the buyers. But look, the buyers were obviously, look at this, people. Like, this is flipping ridiculous, people. And you're seeing this all. This is how this would have printed live for you. The market's still moving currently, so it's a live market. Yeah, this printed here, showed everybody in the group, 4 hour, 15-minute entry. Again, your stop loss could have just been below this level. Sometimes they are going to wick through the level and wick back because remember, it's a battle between buyers and sellers. So you will get that. I'm not saying that it's always going to work if you just put your stop loss there. I don't trade with a stop loss personally. I just tell people I literally don't trade with a stop loss. I've just learned how to not do that. I don't think it's really that hard once you just don't obviously start putting stupid lot sizes. You're not comfortable with losing that amount of money based on. But look, boom, from this level here, this was inside that 4 hour zone. You had a 15-minute zone, and the rest is obviously even history from there. And all of these zones don't repaint because I made sure that all the broken zones stay on the chart. So it literally tells you what's happening. You can see what happened here. So from this point, we didn't see anything because even if you look at this 15-minute entry, really this was your sign. You had a 15-minute entry here, but you only started seeing more pressure when sellers were getting absorbed. Can you see? Because this was a bullish absorption. So you were seeing sellers getting absorbed here. If you got in just from here, now you had your stop loss below this level, you would just ride in this wave, bruv. You would just ride in this wave. Do you understand? You just ride in the wave. And then now you can even see your 15-minute re-entry here. Yeah. But look here, boom. This is why right now it's a more hands-on approach. If you're not a hands-on trader, then that's fine. This part of it isn't for you, and I will try and simplify it. But if you're more of a hands-on person, remember this is for you to get maximum risk to reward. You can still get a nice 1 to 2 trade, let's just say 1 to 3, and be happy. But if you're trying to get 1 to 15 R, that's what this is here for. This version of what I'm showing you here. Yeah. Boom, you can see on the 15-minute chart here. Let me just go into the question, and then we'll go over to 30-minute. Yes, I record these Zoom calls. It's recorded and it will be posted on YouTube. I do trade NAS. So Yusuf asked, I do trade NAS futures, NQ, and MAQ daily, but I have no idea how to correlate to the Forex markets. Yeah, that's no problem. Like I said, I'll figure it out and I'll put that in there later. It's just that I'm so excited to continue with the accuracy of the products than to add things I know I could add very simply. So there's no problem, James. That always recorded. So boom. So now we go into the 30-minute chart. Yeah. Remember, this 30-minute one printed before that 15-minute one. Do you understand? So this is why I said it's a bit more dynamic. This is not the strategy. This is the reality of order flow, people. Order flow is getting placed all around the chart. So this is not, oh my God, this is so complex, John. If you now want to make the maximum money with the least amount of drawdown, this is what order flow traders are doing. They're not just on a 1-minute chart and just hoping to just get entry. They're literally using order flow to see their placed orders in 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Like that's what they're doing to see where it is. And once you're in a trade, they'll use certain time frames to see is it continuing because of this and that and this. That's dynamic trading. Like I'm not telling you you have to do that to make money with Neo. I've already established that at the beginning of the Zoom call. I'm saying if you want to get sniper entries, you got to put some work in, people. Put some work in. That's all I'm saying, literally. So look here, boom. So when it came here, I should have put let me do this actually. So okay, yeah, we can see, yeah, boom. So you can see the 30-minute gave you the re-entry first. So if you missed that 15-minute entry down here, you had another 30-minute entry for a confirmation of that here. Boom. So now if you see what I'm saying here, can you see how yes, Neo will tell you, and by the way, I haven't got gold on here, but it literally tells you GC, which is gold. It tells you gold USD inflow buy. Yesterday when this sell happened, it told you sell. So for anybody traders that want to see that, I'll do that after. It told you sell yesterday. I swear to you, it told you so because I saw it and I was ready to sell gold. But I said, let me just be easy. We're still learning to see if this works. Gold is at all-time high. I don't know if Neo's that good. And I kid you not, Neo predicted this sell. I am not lying to you. You can go back test it and you'll see yourself. It says outflow and it told you sell. And today it said, I said, okay, the 4 hours here with the trap sellers, and it said inflow buy. I said, okay, boy, let's see. And then boom. So you can see here, here's where your entry would be, and you can see what's happened. Sellers are trying to come in, but the buyers are absorbing them. Then they made a solid zone here with the trap sellers. You can see, boom, and you've been able to get in. This was your New York entry, re-entry, and look, gold's still buying. But remember, how was you able to do that? Remember what I did there, people. I went from the 4 hour look, and this is not, I didn't even show you the table. I just looked at order flow at this point. Do you understand? But the table does correlate with this because look, we'll go to it just for the sake of so people can see. Look how much different options Neo has, people. Nobody's indicators this big, bro. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, boom. We go here. We'll go here. Yeah, boom. And we'll switch on gold. And just to make it easy for everyone, we're going to switch off everything else so you can see it bigger. So all I'll do is add extra pairs to the tickers for futures traders and then eventually crypto and so on. Do you understand, people? And then we just got to put it against USD and then boom. You're going to see this now, guys and girls. So you see here, what does it say? So you can see, let me get this out of the way. It says, I don't know what this, I can't get this thing off. This girl. But it says here, look at this, guys and girls. You see? It said strong buy. Now it says strong buy, yeah. But it said strong before. I believe it did say range, but obviously from the pressure, it's changed to a strong, yeah. So let's just say now it says strong buy GC, which is gold USD. 3 bars ago, let's move here. Sorry, so it's out of that zone. Strong buy GC USD free. So this tells you how long ago this buy was kicked in from before this outflow. So it's basically telling you it's come back in basically. So before it was out and now it's come back in, but it did happen 3 bars ago, basically. So let's put it 3 days ago. That's what it was because we're on the daily. So 3 days ago. That's obviously what caused the first ignition of the buy going up. Do you understand? Yeah. Cool. Now what we can see here is the ignition sign is telling you buy. So obviously what we can see here, but it's telling you it's a bearish ignition because the dollar is going down. Do you understand? So this is why I'm saying so because the dollar's gone down and gold is going up as itself. Remember, gold is by itself, gold is going up. They're pulling against each other. Do you see? So they're pushing away from each other, literally. One's flying up or one's steadily going up. Technically, that's what it is because this isn't a bullish ignition as well. So, because if not, it would have said double ignition. So one's steadily buying and one's going down with force because the accelerator has been pressed. You see it, guys and girls. And this was there from the beginning of the day. So just to show you, guys and girls, here. So what I'm trying to, you can literally see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show you that this isn't fabrication. It happens before for you to be able to get yourself ready for a setup. Yeah. Here, look, see, boom. So, okay, you see, this is when market open. So, if anything, the only other thing, because we're in replay mode, it's harder for it to detect the millisecond of everything in it. Let's just say now, or the second of everything, or the minute. So, the only other thing it would have said is range there. Do you understand? But it's already told you outflow, GBP USD, buy. So, it's telling you, yes, orders have come out. Wait, hold on. I think we're not even in the right day yet. Hold on. That's why. So give me a sec. Boom. Give me a sec. I was on a 15-minute. Give me a second. We'll get into this one. Fast forward it again. Let me just go back here quickly. Boom, boom, boom. And see if it says the same thing. So you can see how the Dixie had a bullish ignition here, it says. And now it goes bearish anyway. Boom. Okay, so yeah, so it's the same thing here. Boom. Yep, just to make sure. Okay, yeah, cool. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, it still says it. So you can see from the beginning of the day, when price was still here, it told you the setup. It literally told you that buyers are there, but it told you that gold was offloading orders, which obviously was here. That's why it says outflow, but there was still a possible buy coming in. What gave you the confirmation that price could continue to buy was everything you're seeing here, basically, which is obviously the velocity, the ignition, and then the most key thing, even if you're not looking at this, you just quickly looked at this, the table to tell you it can buy, but they are, selling positions on gold. Obviously, gold's at all-time high. So them selling positions is pretty makes sense. Obviously, it's flipping high. Yeah. But what we can see is that buyers were trapped here. It told us this as soon as the market was open. And that's how I went down into the lower time frame to find the entry. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you guys and girls? You do not have to become a pro at this in one day. Remember, it's lifetime access once you purchase Neo. And again, this is not the strategy you need to make money, but it's also there, literally. Because this is what people will ask me: how do I unravel Neo? Well, once you get this update, which hopefully should be out this week for everyone, you're starting to learn how, is what I'm doing now. Does that make sense for everyone? Let me know. It's pretty simple once you add it. You had a 4 hour order block and a 15-minute order block re-entry, if you want to put it that way, for everyone to understand. Like, it's literally put it that way. I'm just explaining to you what it actually means, but that's how you do it. Everybody else, does it make sense for everybody else in here? Let me know. I know it's not just two people. Please let me know. So even for those scalping people, it could be some people that don't even use this table. I'm not telling you you have to use the table. All I'm telling you is all I ask for is even if you don't use the table, it's fine for you to say you've seen this, you've seen that, but just don't run wild in the group and start being like, this is how you trade Neo. I look, I'm making this much money. Like actually speak to me. Let's break some things down. Maybe I can make it so it's simplified to pick up whatever you've seen. That's all I'm asking. Just don't run in the group on a tangent of waking up every morning and start saying, this is how you trade Neo. And then that will add confusion to the group, which is not necessary. Do you understand? So that's all I ask for. Some people might be able to find some crazy quick 1 minute scalps with this thing. I'm not saying they're not, because come on now. If you've got a 15-minute one of these zones and a 1 minute re-entry, you can get a quick 10 pips and be in and out. Like, you might be able to do that. I'm not saying you can't. But again, just don't go crazy with it, people, thinking that you're God's gift on earth for everyone and you start waking up and saying you're this. If you want to do any of that stuff, by all means, you can go build your own groups and do all of that there if you want to do that. I'm not telling anyone not to do that. Everyone's free to do anything they want. But just try not to turn it into a 1 minute scalping group just because you are seeing progress and wins with that setup, if that makes sense. Can we go straight for No, it's better for you to go through all the time frames because if you don't, that's what I said. Order flow, how it has to be printed for us on TradingView, and how it is sometimes other time frames won't show it, so you're gonna miss it. You're better to go through all the time frames. Like what I'm showing you now is not a lazy way of trading. It's the more advanced version. So it's dynamic trading. It's someone that has time on their hands. If you don't have time on your hands, then cool, that's fine. Then it's not for you. Just stick to the other thing I said at the beginning of this video. Do you understand? And if I can eventually simplify it, then great. It works for everyone. But I've got to explain to people so they have it from as soon as I give them the update this week, so they understand something, at least 10% of it, rather than John, this is a whole bunch of stuff on my chart right now. I don't even know what is. I don't know what anything is. Yeah. So it's better for you to go from the higher time frame to the lower, because if you just use the lower time frame or you skip, you're gonna miss the order flow between the time frames. And remember, the 30-minute might have created a rejection, so now you can't see that. So I'm trying to explain to you, don't be lazy. What I'm explaining to you is not a lazy way of trading. It's a very, I'm a serious trader version. Do you understand? Like, you can't be. Literally. That's one thing I've noticed. You just can't, because you just get trapped in a move you don't need to. You need to constantly be going. Remember, if you're in a trade and it's working for you, especially if you're in a quick trade, you need to be going through the time frames quickly, 15, 5, 30, boom. So if it's in profits or it starts to run a bit slower, you're trading, you're like, oh, is it going to break through? Is it not? Go through the time frames. You get it. All right, cool. So that's that example. So that's gold, just so everyone can get it. Bear with me. Let me go here. Some of the things in there I might remove as well to make this more better for everyone. So we can just get a pinpointed one setup alert or whatever. But you have to bear with me, people, because obviously there's some things I've put in Neo, like a leverage calculator and everything. I might have to remove that for us to get, if we're getting 1 to 10 our trades, I'm sure you guys can go to a website and use a leverage calculator rather than having it in Neo, like that. So there's certain things I might have to remove. We'll see anyway as time goes on. Okay. Um, Boom, boom, boom. There we go. I'm just going to switch back on all the pairs quickly. Whilst we wait, is there anybody with any questions or anything like that? On Dixie and switch off this. One thing I might be looking to do is that for the individual trader, so remember, it's already gives you the top 3 pairs. You can see how the dashboard can get bigger and smaller. You can switch off things and switch them on. What I might be looking to do is put these single lines mixed with the anchor protocol if it allows me to do it with coding. If it doesn't, then I'm sorry. But if it does, then I'll put these in here. So you don't have to have this on. You could just have the top 3 pairs, and then as you go through the pairs slowly, you'll be able to read what it says here. But I like to see this because I like to instantly see every pair, and then I know what pair to type like this. Do you understand? Because I can see it all in front of me. Um, Yeah, that's no problem, Kay. That's no problem. Like I said, I'm not saying that I'm going to get rid of it, but I'm like, at some point, I've got to get rid of other parts of Neo that maybe are more redundant than others, because I feel like this is way more important. Like, this is my best piece of work I've done. Do you understand? This is way more important, because anything that's telling you something can happen before it happens. I'm sorry, that's literally insight. You're going into the range of insider trading at that point. You understand? Literally, the only thing we're missing is this precise entry point, and that's why I created the order flow system so you can see the absorption and everything. Do you understand? So we could try and find the precise entry. Because remember, the more and more I learn where and when the precise entries are, the easier I'm going to be able to just pinpoint it to an alert system that tells you this matches with this. Now there's an alert, entry, stop loss, take profit levels, done. But that's why I'm showing right now. I'm showing you the manual version, so at least you know why you're getting that alert that's popping up at the moment. Do you understand? And that's what you're paying. You're not paying to just be like not know anything. You're paying to learn as well, realistically. And that's what I'm teaching you this. And this is something, even if you didn't trade Neo, it's very important for you to know. Like, you're probably not getting your greatest entries in trades because you're not realizing that there's trapped buyers and trapped sellers, and you're able to actually spot it based on wick rejections. That's what it is. You can actually see it. Do you understand? Like, literally. But again, the problem is you don't know that how big it is, what how strong it is when it appears, because it's like everything technically is a wick rejection. So there's trap buyers and sellers in this wick and then in this wick. So what Neo's doing is it's doing it based on calculations. It's working it out for you what makes sense. Do you get it? So, and there's other factors into it as well. I've actually factored in. So that's why the version you've got of the wick rejections are not always going to be the exact same as this one, because I factored in other methods based on this table here into that as well. Do you get it? All right, cool. So any other questions anybody's got so far? Any other questions? No, we're just gonna go through here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go in back to here. Let's go to USD CHF for James because he was so adamant on USD CHF. So USD CHF was a good trade. I was in this trade, and my reason for it was why every single day I'm doing more and more looking at like this code and I'm figuring out something. Every single day I figure out a bit more on why what we need to make it better. And why I went into USD CHF, I actually got a late entry into it because again, you could see in my group that I was coding it whilst this move was moving. Yeah, was this. Look at this. So anyone would think this is a buy, and you can even see why it bought. Why now can you see? Just like you would see supply demand indicators, you can obviously see what this looks like an order block supply demand. Yes, I know a lot of indicators do that, but I assure you they're not doing it the way I'm doing it with this absorption and trap sellers and trap buyers. I'm telling you, go check and you'll see. So now it's not just the supply demand, the way it's built, it's actually built a lot different in the idea of what it is and the mathematics to it. But you can see, boom, as soon as price came here, what did we see? We saw the buy reaction. But how did we know that this was going to start to pull back today instead of to continue to buy? Because this is how I would used to trade the ADR. And I would get into this thinking, yeah, price is just going to continue to buy today to ADR free. Woohoo. Yeah. Midweek reversal. But no. Now with this implementation here, look what it says. Range. This is why I say range is not bad. Weak pairs are the ones you really want to stay away from. Range is just a sleeping move. That's why I say remember, because if consolidation, what happens? Price consolidates and then it breaks out. So this is what this is telling you. That's why I say range is actually good. If there's no top pairs, so you can see at the bottom it says markets are sleeping, no elite setups. That's fine. Then you start looking at your ranged moves and anything that matches all together. So boom. So when we go to the range, we go to range USD CHF sell. But before I was like, I could see that it's a massive inflow, yeah, for the sell, but I couldn't see like so massive inflow for a sell means that what they're doing is yeah, they're putting a influx, sorry, of sell trades basically. So they're putting an influx. You can see it. So you see here CHF sell. So I'm like, hold on, but I don't know when they place this. Every single time I'm trying to think when are they placing orders, and this is why we happened to get more and more of these information here to tell us this is what's happening, this is how it's happening. So I'm like, when? So that now I got to a point where I was like, okay, we need to know when, like how long ago properly did that happen. So you can see this turn to one. So it's like, no, this literally happened. So that literally means that there was a movement made by big institutions between the USD and the CHF on the futures. But again, we would have to go to the pair to go break it down. Was there a break of structure? Was there this? Was there that? It doesn't. You don't need to do that. Neo's doing all that for you, and it's telling you straight away, hey, yeah, this is where it was, and then we just go forward. So literally, our entry was here. Literally, you see how silly that was, people, guys and girls. Look at this. Where are we? Short tool. Our entry was right here on this player. We had our entry right here. Now you might be saying, but why, John? There was nothing there for us to look for a sell. But just based on this alone, our entry was there. Now, let's just put this like this. Yeah. Boom. Now let's go down to the lower time frames. Now we can see that it told us to sell this from now, but where is the trap sellers and trap buyers? Let's go to the 1 hour, see what we see here. Right here. So let's no, this isn't it. It's the same color. Almost confused me there for a second. So look, we can see here, even on the 1 hour, there isn't. We can see that there's absorption here. So buyers are trying to buy, they're trying to sell on the 1 hour, but again, we don't have a clear sign of any trapped buyers or sellers yet. Let's go to the 30 minutes. So you can see how you have to go through the time frames. Do you understand? So we're going to go here. Boom. So now we can see straight away that the reason why there's 1 hour absorption here is because there is a line here. There are trapped buyers in this level on the 30 minute. So this is giving us an indication that price can sell. It might break this one. It might have gone a bit higher to this one, and then because we can see there's obviously more in this area than there is here. This is exactly, you see what you're seeing here, barring all these other little parts. Imagine you're just looking at these lines and nothing else on the chart. This is what order flow looks like to you. So remember when I told you might see it like appear here live. This is how order flow traders look. It appears like that. It appears as heat maps. So it'll be like red, dark red, orange, yellow, and then faint, like just very faint. Do you understand? So we can see on the 30 minutes, if this is correct and it's telling us it's going to sell, price should sell from here or from here. We know that automatically because we can see order flow now on Neo. We can just see it straight away. So that's what we can see. So already we're in here. We've entered this trade. We're like, okay, boom. So again, look, even on the 30 minute, it tells you, look, there's a liquidity here. The liquidity lines go in depth. I could put right in there, but I don't want to put too much on the chart. But it literally tells you what's strong and what's weak. This is a strong liquidity area, it's telling you, because it's darker red. You can see the lighter ones are weaker liquidity. Yeah. Boom. So now we've already got that stop loss above there. That's a 15.5. So let's just say a 16 pip stop loss. Let's see what happens with price action as we move. We've got another trapped buyers in here, right? And pay attention, right in London Open. So I'm thinking about sessions because obviously sessions induce, they're gonna inject the market full of orders at session opens. We know that. You know, London, New York specifically, we do know that. So London Open, boom, they put another 30 minute there. But look, what I would do now is I'll go back up to the 1 hour to see if a 1 hour zone did appear. Again, this is dynamic. This is not what you have to do, but I'm telling you, hey, if you're trying to make money, you know, you got to be on it, basically. So there's nothing on the 1 hour. We go back over to the 4 hour, just have a quick check if anything appeared there. There's nothing there. I don't believe. Look, nothing there. So we know that the 30 minute is the highest time frame. Sorry, hold on. So we know that the 30 minutes or lower, what the hell's going on there? There we go. The 30 minutes or lower is the time frame where all of the orders are being trapped. That's what we can see. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you guys and girls? The 30 minute or lower is where the orders are being trapped. So we know to just stick around that time frame for now. Yeah. And then we just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And we see again, more orders got trapped coming into the close of London session. Can you see how crazy this gets, people? More orders have got trapped. Boom. So at this point, we could go back to the 1 hour again and then whatever else. Do you understand? But realistically, we know the 30 minute is our point of contact here because this is where it starts and we can clearly see nothing else is going higher yet. But if you want to see whilst you're in this trade, if this is a strong sell trend, yes. So you have to be going from the 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. Then for you to just double check any micro versions, you go from the 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute back to the 30. But your 30 minute was your main point of contact here. Do you understand? Just like on gold, your 15 minute was your main point of contact. Does that make sense? It was like literally your main point. Does it make sense what I'm saying to you there, guys and girls? You found a time frame to base your trapped buyers and sellers, and you work around it, whether you go up that way or you go down the other way, literally. But you know that it's in your favor. You see? So boom, now you're like, okay, cool, cool. So it's funny because, like I said, it's really cool because you're seeing the battle between buyers and sellers. And you can see the sellers are dominating this market right now. Boom, boom, boom. So we just keep going. You see, buyers are trying to step in right now. Let me zoom in for anyone that can't see. Let's just get rid of this. Let's just hide this quickly. You can see the buyers are trying to step in on the 30 minute now. They try to step in here, but they're getting knocked out. They just get knocked out. Yeah. The buyers cannot win this battle. They cannot win it. The sellers are just too strong. And remember, what told you that the sellers are going to win this battle today? Remember, if I just had this and didn't have this, how would I have known that there was a strong possibility that the sellers were going to win this battle? Are you starting to see why we have more things added to Neo? Does that version make sense for you as well? You started to pinpoint it now. So now we already know that the sellers should start to get a foothold in this market. They should start to win the auction. But how do we know when to enter was our next problem. Hence why I made these absorption, trap buyers, trap sellers, and absorption update to Neo as well. Because now we can see the pinpointed parts of where these people are starting to attack this market. You see? We can see now we've got a bullseye and we can see where they're going to attack the market. You see how clear that is, people? We can see the heat map of where they are connecting their cells. Yeah, you love it, people? You loving this? Let me know in the chat. Let me get a Y or a W in the chat if you're with me still. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. When you say more than sufficient, do you mean should you trade it alone? That is the question, Mr. T. You say, is you asked this question, Mr. T. You said, so looking at the heat map, is it more than sufficient? My question to you, do you mean should you trade it alone? That's what I'm asking you. Let me know. Let me know. No, I mean look for it on the chart and then go up and down the time frames as yeah, that's exactly it. So you said no, I mean look at it on the chart and then go up and down the time frames as you said earlier for more confluence. Absolutely. Yes. Remember, this is like let me try and put it the easiest way possible. How I'm showing you this trapped buyers and trapped sellers right now and how to merge it with the dashboard is like it's like using a bicycle with no stabilizers on it. Obviously, my job as the mentor coding guy building this indicator for everyone to use is to put the stabilizers there so it just makes it easy for you. Or another version of doing it is like I'm telling you right now to use a manual car, but I'm going to build you an automatic car. I'm going to hopefully find a way where you don't have to start going through time frames and then merging this and merging that. But remember, I'm going to give you guys and girls this update whilst I still build more to it to make it the automatic car. Because if not, it might take me another 20, 30, 40 days to get it to an automatic car, and you guys are going to have to wait all that time. I don't want you to have to do that. That's going to just be unnecessary for you to have to wait that long if people are actually just willing to just learn a bit more and be more dynamic. That's what I'm trying to say there. So, but we will eventually get it to an automatic car where you won't have to do that. And if anyone knows me and can see what I'm clearly doing, you know I'm not lying. Basically, that's my whole aim here. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so that's USD and this was a trade I took. I only took this on a smaller account because I was flipping tired after 10 to 15 hours of coding. I was so tired. I said I'm not obviously going to put a 1.0 and go to bed because if I'm wrong, and obviously I'm going to have to figure out why I'm wrong. Obviously I don't want to just lose mad money and I don't trade with a stop loss. So I even got a late entry. My entry was based around, I kid you not, people, where is it? Yeah, my entry was based probably around about here. It must have been around here. Yeah, it was around about here. So it was as soon as this one appeared, pretty much. Kid you not. My entry was like around here somewhere. I think it might have even been lower. Might have even been lower. I don't think it was down here. I was definitely asleep at this time. But it was around about here. Boom. So you can see that was that one there. This is how I was able to catch. I caught this trade live, this trade that you're seeing right here. I caught this live and I caught GU as well today. Do you understand? But it's just a small trade, nothing fancy. But it's just to see if to the point of the coding I got up to, does it make sense? And yes, I caught gold, I caught this, and I caught that. I caught three trades between Asian session and London Open. I got three entries. Do you understand? Based on what I'm literally showing you people. That's three different trades, just so you know. So yeah, that's pretty much the ins and outs of what you're seeing there. And I think it was good the way I did go through it that way. Now it's just to show you the let's call it the outlay. You see, this trade is still melting. I even closed this trade like where did I close it? Probably about here. I just said, yeah, let me come out. It's still melted. My obviously reason for closing is because of this strong level down here. So boom. But it just shows you how mad that remember that dashboard told you that there was there was an in basically there was they added sell orders or sorry, it told you that they removed profits from the market. So what do we see? Inflow. No. So it says because it says inflow, that means they added sell orders. This is why we're seeing such a big move as well. When they're taking it off, yes, you start to see it because that's when you're going to get trapped buyers when it's outflow because obviously they're taking their orders off. So anyone that was in the buy or anyone that was in that last part of buy are getting trapped. You understand? But this means they added. They added. You understand? So boom. So now this is how what I do naturally. So when I'm looking at Neo, I'm always on a 4 hour chart as my main time frame, as you'll see from most of my videos. and I literally just go through it like this. This is how I do it every day just to see what the market did. Boom. So I'll just go from the 4 hour chart and then I'll just literally go through all the pairs to check. Oh, the last thing I wanted to explain to you was the ADR. The ADR is pretty good. Um, but there's different methods of the ADR. This is what I've noticed. Okay. So let's just go to the good method, GBP USD. So the best method of the ADR, what I've noticed is what you see here on something like GU. So GU, we got into this trade. I even managed to trade this on hyper growth accounts. If you do want to get into my high risk accounts, which I trade copy for everyone, so I'll take the trade on my account, it copies to all of their accounts, and then we do a profit split. Just message me about that after. Like I said, I like to keep it as a closed knit community. I don't want anybody thinking that I'm just going to be turning their account from zero to £1 million in one day or 1 week or 1 month. I only want people that are sensible with understanding that there's a process. I can't obviously take a 33% risk trade every single day. You know, I'm not saying there isn't opportunities for that, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm not obviously trying to lose your investment. The minimum investment you have to have is $300 or pounds at the moment. Before it was 100, but obviously as we get bigger, it goes up in it, obviously. So but yeah, I don't want to I don't want to lose your £300, basically. You understand? So again, if I only see one opportunity in a week, I only see one opportunity and I take it. Some weeks I don't see opportunity and I don't trade it because I don't feel comfortable. But the more and more this is making things better for me, the easier it is for me to spot a trade. So GU from the beginning of the week, this is why I took the GU buy on those accounts, and this came up as a Neo signal as well. Okay, you can see on the 4 hour, what is there here? There was trapped sellers on the 4 hour. Then it came up with a Neo signal after, when was it? It was Monday, 10 o'clock. Boom. Then it came up with, I think there was a daily bullish IFVG as well, which is based. So, long story short, we got a Neo signal here. One of these. We got one of these over here. So then I was like, I'm pretty sure, was it there? No, I think I entered on Monday and it came through on Tuesday. That's my bad for that one. But the reason why I was able to take this as a pair, because I knew that, boom, again, the dashboard was telling me the information I just broke down in this Zoom call. This was on GBP USD. It did come through the next day with a Neo signal, and the next day you can see what it did on the Tuesday. The Neo, so when the Neo signal also matched the table, boom, can you see? But again, I was able to get in the early Monday entry because of everything I just explained to you on the table. And that was yeah, with the trapped sellers. Because I saw there was trapped sellers here. I said, okay, there's 4 hour trapped sellers here. Boom, the table told me like a little breakdown. I got in there. Now I was able to come out of this trade because in the next thing I'm going to explain to you, which is the ADR. Now the ADR tells us when price action is moving, one times its ADR length from a low to a high, two times, three times, and so on. So the ADR told me, and what I've noticed, I've traded the ADR for like 5 years now through different methods of trading, but I've never been able to get it this great because I didn't have this. I wasn't even aware of this information when I first started trading the ADR, literally. So now what we can see is that price action basically got hit ADR2. If the ADR is telling you lies, look how perfectly it aligns up when you look at it a lot of the time. Boom. So price action hit ADR2. Then I was like, boom, I'm closing this trade because I noticed from 5 years of trading the ADR, price action doesn't tend to move a lot of the time from ADR0, which is the peak formation low if it's a buy. Yeah, it doesn't tend to move from there all the way to ADR3 often. Only big news events like FMOC or NFP or something like that, interest rates can do those types of moves. So I'm like, boom, it's probably going to pull back. And plus, this was a Monday entry. 9 out of 10 times, it will buy up or sell down on a Monday, pull back, and then do a new move Wednesday, Thursday. I'm sure we've all seen that type of thing in trading. So from when it got to ADR2, which is already automatically here for me, like a take profit level, I said, let me close this trade. Boom. Now, when I closed this trade, what did I do? I was just waiting. So this is when I didn't trade it on those hyper accounts. I was just waiting for another entry on any of my other accounts. Now you can see, look how perfectly it went back one ADR length. So I've noticed price tends to go to about ADR2. Then it will pull back one of its ADR lengths to ADR1. And then it will get enough steam, aka liquidity or trap sellers, we can see now, and buyers, and get ready for the move up. So you can see there's no 4 hour version here unless it went back down to this level. There was no 4 hour trap sellers. Let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah. Let's see what we see. Now on a 1 hour chart, what do we see here? So it started telling us GBP USD buy, and it was saying inflow buy. Obviously, because it got faster, it's a massive inflow now. But what it was saying inflow, it wasn't even saying inflow, it was saying it was saying outflow buy. That's what it's saying. So yes, it could still buy, but there was a little clash between these two because they're taking orders off of the GBP. Doesn't mean it was like GJ, doesn't mean it can't buy because we know it's in a range and it's a buy. Doesn't mean it can't buy. Yeah, we had all this other stuff here, flat acceleration, etc. Yeah, but it just means when is it going to buy? Now, how do we know when it's going to buy? On the 1 hour chart, if you go here, this is a better view for you guys and girls. At this point, you'll see this gave you a little bit of a better view at this point because now, when it was here, can you see what we have here? We obviously have strong sellers at this point in this auction. Then we had another seller in this auction at this point. Okay. Now, the fact that we had the seller in this auction at the point, let me just see here, boom, and we had the buyers here, it was a battle between the 1 hours. Now, our point of contact was the 1 hour chart because this is where the next level of our buyers and sellers are trapped. Remember, there wasn't on the 4 hour, it was way lower, and there wasn't no new one. So the 1 hour was our point. So we're just waiting to see. Boom, boom. What do we see here? What do we see? Boom. So you can see that now the buyers tried to kick back in. Now, this was the first time the buyers were actually able to win the auction because they broke the seller's level. Do you understand? Which setting shows off? You don't have these ranges yet because you don't have this update. Like I said, I literally just didn't want to give this update out because if not, I would have had to. I've updated this update here like 15 or 20 times since you guys have had the last update. And obviously, each thing is one different little update. So imagine every single time you would have had to have that, or every three things I've done, I would have had to update for you. So I've decided to do more of a bulk. Yeah. Boom. So yeah, look, boom. This was the first time the buyers were able to win this auction. This is why I'm saying in the group it's pretty amazing because now you can see when the buyers and sellers are winning the auction. It's like seeing the vision behind the charts. So you can see when they're winning it. Boom. Now, obviously, the buyers won the auction this time. So this is telling you that buyers are now stepping back in to the market. This is the first time since where is it? Where are we? Thursday. This is the first time in Thursday. I remember the 1 hour was our only point of contact to see where there's buyers and sellers trapped, right where price is at the moment. This is the first time buyers were able to step back into this market. So now we just need to either get another 1 hour entry or anything lower to show us. Boom. So now let's just keep moving. Boom. You can see they went back down. This is why I said your stop loss, even if it's below these zones sometimes it'll be a bit tricky because price action can wick through. That's the whole point. Remember, it's a battle between buyers and sellers. This is why you get wicked out, people. It's not some random, they're just looking for you. They're stop hunting you. You're getting wicked out sometimes because buyers and sellers are fighting. So when the buyers and sellers are fighting, yeah, to break a level, this is why you get wicked out. And that's what we call a stop hunt or a liquidity run. Do you understand? So boom. So now if we just go over to here long, yeah. If you did enter here because price got in here, let's just say you entered at the top of this zone. You got your stop loss below here. You got 40 pips. You just want to know if they're going to hold this 1 hour zone or this 1 hour zone. One of the two needs to hold. If not, that means they're more than likely going to keep selling. Yeah. Boom. And then you take your risk to reward wherever you want to go to. You got your liquidity levels here. Do you understand? You got them here. Boom. So here you got a high liquidity up here on the 1 hour. Okay. You can even put it that you set it to the order flow areas because you know this is where it can react from the most. The question is, are they going to break this one? Look at the heat map. Like I told you, you can see it's a heat map, darker red, lighter red. So these are obviously medium and stronger zones. So you just want to see what they do here. Boom. Let's see. You can see that buyers, remember, it started from here. Buyers are starting to absorb sellers. Buyers are starting to absorb sellers again, it's telling you. Yeah, let's just move this over. Buyers are starting to absorb sellers again on the 1 hour. This is your point of contact time frame. You can see trapped buyers, they're trying to fight. They're really trying to fight in this area. Yeah, but it's not working. Boom. You can see they're trying to come back in again, the sellers. But now you're stuck in between here. Because yeah, the sellers are trying to win this auction as well. Boom. Are they going to win or are they going to lose? You can see I was holding this level right now. It's holding the level. Boom. Buyers have come back in. Now, can you see where your confirmation is starting to come in now? As soon as this candle closed, you're literally in here. Because now, can you see how that works? Pay attention to what I'm telling you, people. Remember, the first most important thing here is that this was from Wednesday, this buyer's level. That's it. So even if you didn't enter the market, because I've noticed that when levels are from the previous day, it's not great. And the reason why it's not great, think about the logic. Yes, they are on that level, but wouldn't it make more sense if there is that level plus the addition that they actually added new orders today? That's what we saw with gold. The 4 hour trap sellers happened from the day before. The 15-minute entry happened in today. Make sense? Do you get it? Remember, we were on GU on the 4 hour. We could see it's pulled back. We could see that it's got a type of buy that can happen because the table had shown us. But there is no 4 hour trapped sellers until they were further down here. So we go down to see, hold on, is there something we can see here on the 1 hour? So basis, is price basically holding a support? We go down to the 1 hour, we see it, but we see that support was from yesterday, which is the buy orders from yesterday. Do you understand? So what we want to wait for is the confirmation of the orders to come in today. Now, when we see that the orders came in today, boom, remember your entry was here, stop loss was here. Your stop loss could have even been here now because this is your new level because you've got a double level of order flow here. So you've got the new sellers here, but you've got a double level of order flow here on the 1 hour. Boom. Look at that, people. You see the ignition? Do you see it, guys and girls? So I want you to see it. And this is what I've seen. I just haven't got to this version of the coding yet. But do you see it, guys and girls? I want to know everyone's still witnessing. I can't make this up. And this is why I said the code. I'm telling you, what I'm saying, bruv, if you are not getting this product, yeah, I'm telling you, the price is going up. The price is going up. Because once I manage to pinpoint the exact point, or at least let's say about 8 out of 10 times, we're getting this entry, it's game over. It's game over because everything else I've already told you is already doing it for you. The only part I haven't got to because this is literally a new strategy I just made this month. I just made it this month. It's not like I've made this strategy for 4 years. Like obviously there's elements to it that I've been trading for years, like the ADR, understanding about the correlation of pairs going one way, the other way. But I'm talking about pinpointing it to this point. Once I get this point, and I remember me saying once I get this point, the indicator technically already showed us that. It showed us they placed a new order on top of the order. So therefore, we know that bias can happen here. Boom. You see it? Boom. And then, yeah, I was just looking at the chat. People were saying, wow. And then you see it straight away. Boom. And there you go. This was your buy influx. Look at it, people. Gone. You see why I keep trying to tell people you just got to be a little bit patient with me. Remember, obviously, I know people understand we're all adults. I do have a family as well. I've got stuff to do. I have to try and be as, as share my time as much as possible. But obviously, everybody knows if you're able to get these entries 7 to 8 out of 10 times, come on now. We all know we're just looking at a different level of life, even if you lose trades. Because already that was a 4 hour trade. So let's just say it was technically a 5 hour trade. This is what I'm saying. If you're getting these type of trades, you can lose more trades being wrong with these setups, but you can now you're still going to be making good money. Do you understand? And the point is obviously to lose less trades because the less trades you lose, the higher you can risk, meaning you can flip accounts quicker. But even if you're doing that and your account flips at a steady rate, if you use the compound list, as you can see here, people, you see? So you can start from lower. So even if you had, once I perfect what I just explained to you there, if you had $200 and you're even going at 50, let's even just put this risk down. Let's even put this risk to 10%. Let's be realistic. If you had $200 and 10% within 100 trades, that's 7 million people. It's 7 million. Do you understand? That's not even 50% risk or anything. 10% is still a lot of risk on a $200 account, don't get me wrong, but if you had that, that's 110 trades, sorry. Or 100 trades is still 2 million. Do you understand? You can even now, this is why I said the bot will be set up at a certain amount of rating for growth because even if you traded 5% risk, yeah, and this is just $200. Obviously, I want it to have a bit more space to breathe. By the time you even get to 100 trades here, it's $26,000. Do you understand? It's $26,000. Do you get the point, people? Do you see where I'm coming from now? So this is why I said that if you don't want to do all this stuff or whatever, you don't even want to learn about it, just get yourself into the bot service, message me if you're interested in that. If you want to do hyper growth, message me about that. If you want to get Neo, message me about that. The services, just message me and ask me which one you're interested in. But do you get the point of where I'm coming from, people here? That's no problem, mate, for showing you this. This is the whole point. So you can see what I'm saying. Boom. So what you're really looking for is the ignition of the ignition, and it's pinpointing it. Don't get me wrong. I think the only issue I have here with making sure I get these is figuring out the time frame. But this is why I realized that really I've noticed it's the 1 hour time frame. I'm not saying you can't go lower, but it gets the more lower you go and you're looking for this setup, it gets more noisier. Do you understand? When this was a 15 pip stop loss. You were perfectly fine with having a 15 pip stop loss for this trade. And remember, this trade is still going. This isn't the end of this trade. This trade is still going. Okay, so it is here. Sorry, I thought it was still higher. But yeah, still, that's a 1 to 5 hour trade. There, boom. So imagine you would have got Monday's entry, and I took this trade. Remember, people, I took this trade. I've told you. So you would have got Monday's entry for the buy. I made money with the GBP news, and you would have got this entry for the buyer today. Boom. That's like 10R just off of GU. You don't even need to trade anything else. Like the fact that this is why I tell people that I'm only trading majors on a lot of my accounts at the moment. Do you understand? It's just that for me to vigorously test Neo, I'm trading things outside of majors. But yeah, the majors are always the best because they got liquid. When they do moves, they will do moves because they're most liquid pairs. And the question that was asked was compound growth part of hyper growth strategy or bot, or is it the same? So no, realistically, the bot is not doing hyper growth. It's just doing steady growth. If you're growing at like 5 to 6% growth, I wouldn't call this hyper growth, literally, because if you're not really trading, I mean, 5% on your account, you're not really going to make a lot of money if you're trading. It's going to take you forever to get anywhere. Because if you go down to 1% on a $200 account, let's just say now, or let's even put on a $500, which I ask people to invest, boom. Like if you go down to 1%, you see you've only turned in 100 trades, you've only turned one. Basically, you've turned 500 to 1,000 or 1,003. So that's not terrible. Don't get me wrong. I want everyone to know that is not terrible. Because if that was $1 million, you would have made. If that was $5 million, you would have made like how much? $8 million profit or something like that. That's not. You understand? That's not terrible. It's not terrible, people. But I'm just saying for where we are all coming from, that's not. That's you can spend that in a week, I'm sure, because you got bills. The profit, and imagine that to get 100 trades, you're not going to get 100 trades quick. It's pinned this list. Yeah, somebody asked me where is this compound growth sheet. I've given this sheet out like literally 1,000 times, but it's pinned in the free Telegram Neo VIP, the Neo Reloaded group. So the free group that's in the description, the link. Go to that group and go through the pinned messages, and it says 20 pip compound sheet. So don't pay attention to anything else on this sheet. I didn't make this sheet. I want everyone to know I got it randomly off of Forex somewhere. I don't even know. I think my brother even gave it to me. That I can't even remember where it came from. This thing, I didn't make this. But don't pay attention to anything here. Anything after profit goal, don't pay attention to. So just leave everything here. Don't pay no attention there. Just pay attention to these three. Yeah. And this is what you want to do because this is going to start telling you use this stop loss and use it. Don't do all of that. Just pay attention to these three. Don't worry about it. It's not you're not supposed to use it to work out lot sizes or anything. You can go to a pip calculator or you can use Neo as well if you know how to work out your lot sizes. On Neo, you can literally go into the settings as I've shown you guys and girls, and you can set up your settings here. Neo's got a risk calculator. Yeah, boom. Leverage and margin. You can switch on the table and switch it on. You can put your leverage amount, always switch it to manual, put your leverage amount. You can put your account size in there. You can put the risk mode, so how much you want to risk, or custom. So for us, it would have been custom. Now you would say, so let's say it's the bot now. I'd put this to 6% custom risk. You see, I'm always going for TP3. Yeah. And then it will auto lot size. So when it comes up with the buy and sell signals, it tells me the risk in there and it will auto work out the lot size. So it'll tell me like 0.23 lot size or whatever it is. You can change your currency pair to whatever you trade in. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it, literally from there. And this is for traders with proper accounts and consistency rules. You can put your consistency rule to work out um, how much you are in or over between your. I don't trade consistent rules. I've never done it before, so I couldn't give you the best explanation of it. But anyone that does trade consistency rules, I'm sure they'll understand every single method that's here. Yeah, that literally breaks it all down, but it tells you so you can make sure you're within your consistency rule amount every single time. You can put the ledger here so you can put how much you have made, the highest profit for the day, and so on, and all that other malarkey. You know, you could do all that stuff there. But yeah, boom. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I'm gonna leave it there because if not, I think the Zoom's already an hour. There's no point. It's definitely over an hour. There's no point me going much further in this because I'm going to make some more changes to this. This version of Neo should be out by Sunday, this Sunday coming into the market. If it comes out before, yes. I still want to do some more edits today and tomorrow. That's why probably it won't come out. Nobody needs to stress too much. Yes, it would be good to probably go over on the weekend. I understand, but you have got this Zoom call to refer to and take notes. Like I said, this is not the ultimate way to trade it because there's some changes I'm going to make. I don't know yet what they are, but at least this gives you a basic version of what to look for. And the reality of it, you can kind of literally see it. You know? No worries. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. They said I'm a great teacher. Thank you for that comment. But yeah, this is literally what happens, people. You saw it. So on GJ, you saw the 1 hour explosion. On GU, you saw the 1 hour explosion. But you can see USDCHF never gave us a 1 hour explosion. It was the 30-minute. So already you can kind of see where it will give you some entries, but won't give you all if you pay attention to the 1 hour alone. So you can see why I have to go back and look at how do I pinpoint an overall or what is the so and so. And do you get my point, people? So yeah, we'll get there anyway. We'll get there. But like I said, it's all part of the pay. I had to wait for that move to happen for me to know this is how to trade it. Do you get it? And that's what happened, basically, people. Yeah. I remember that took me 4 days of watching the market for that to come into play. No worries. No worries, John Jay. All right, cool, cool. I'll see you all later, and this will be uploaded on YouTube anyway, so you'll all be able to watch it as well, people. Thank you for your time so much. And if anybody wants to get Neo, make sure they message me now. If you've got family or friends, message me now. The price will go up, and I am not budging once it goes up, people. I will see you later. Peace.